Trying to reconnect.
Hi everyone, I'm Della, the health coach here at Center for New Medicine, Cancer Center for Healing. And today we have the awesome opportunity of getting up close and personal with our very own Dr. Connealy and our clinical nutritionist, Liliana Partida, and things that they do daily to keep themselves healthy.
Hello everyone, welcome. It's great here, everyone here at the center and at Facebook Live and out there listening. Share with all your friends. We're going to have some amazing information. But I will tell you today that there is amazing news. All you hear on the news is bad news, but I'm going to tell you today, you have an innate ability to heal. And that's what we're going to be talking about, is how you can heal yourself. We're going to share how we work every day and live very vibrant, vital lives, and we want to share with you what we do. So
to start, what do you do daily to keep yourself healthy, young, and spry?
Well, first and foremost, I think the most important thing is you must sleep. There's 24 hours in a day. And people today, unfortunately, are not sleeping. I would say about 50% of the population out there or more is not sleeping. And if you do not sleep, you will not be happy the next day. You're going to be moody, you're going to be tired, your immune system won't work, your brain won't work, your body won't detoxify. So my rule is at least 8 to 9 hours of good night's sleep. And before I wake up, what do? Before I wake up, I think how grateful I am about everything. My list is so long, I barely can wake up now. But if you get in that mode, I learned this years ago, and if you get in that mode, it becomes the vibratory frequency you think about all the time. And whatever you're thinking, your cells become. So every day before you get out of bed, take a very deep breath all the way into your belly and think of all the things you are thankful for. Then after that, I want to jump out of bed, but at 60, it's a little bit of effort. I will tell you, I'm not going to lie, that I get up and go, oh, it's going to be a great day today. And then I drink 10 ounces of green juice, and I put a teaspoon of vitamin C every day because I'm exposed to sick people and I don't want to get sick. So I do 10 ounces of green juice with my 82 pills. 82, it's a little exaggeration, but it seems like 82 sometimes. And I take my pills and then I go and exercise. And we are in the time of immobility. Nobody moves, but you have 800 muscles that you need to move every day. And so I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you have to get up from your computer and walk 5 minutes. I don't care if you go to a gym. I don't care if you create your gym. You must move. When you move, it helps your immune system. It helps you detoxify. It helps you be in a better mood. You lose weight if you need to lose weight. Your circulation better. Everything is better. But if you don't get in the mindset and plan on having a good, great life, it's not going to happen. I tell my kids, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. So you must have this, get in all this. And don't tell me it's not possible, because it is possible. I work 12 hours a day. I've had 7 kids. I work with very difficult patients, but I plan to be healthy. Why? True wealth is health. If you do not have your health, you have nothing. I tell people, come spend 3 days with me, and we have a couple of patients here. They can share their story that if you don't have health, you do not have a life. And being partially healthy is not health. And we want to share with you the secrets that you need to know about. Because I will tell you, being healthy is a secret now. They don't want you to know how to be healthy, but we want you to know how to be healthy. So I want you to stay tuned. So I'm going to let Liliana share a few of her wake-up things that she does to be healthy.
Thank you. Well, just on Dr. Connealy's note about a good night's sleep, and all you women over the age of 50 years old or so, it's not always your capacity to get a good night's sleep after you have hormonal issues. And I'm one of those people. And so again, it's really important that if I'll start my day with the nighttime, all right? And so because I already know I have an issue with sleep, I take really good care of setting up an atmosphere so that I can get sleep. So the first thing I do is I take my foam roller and I just work on my own body in regards to releasing any stress that I might have collected throughout the day. And I tell patients, we've got to be able to fulfill our own personal needs. And just like Dr. Connealy, we sit in a chair listening to people, and we're, like medical doctor, we'd call her the detective, because we're always trying to look outside the box. Mm-hmm. And so again, our day is very, very demanding. And so again, I really take time out for myself at night. I take a hot bath before I go to sleep, and I do the foam roller. I just get rid of any excess stress. And I just lay down on the floor and I ground myself, putting my legs just on a stool. I bring my arms out to flatten out my adrenals, and then I just do my breathing. And I call it conscious breathing. And the conscious breathing, and it's really nice because you really learn that you're actually creating more capacity in your lung space when you do conscious breathing. And that's just by taking a nice deep cleansing breath in, holding it for as long as you possibly can. When I first started, I only could do like 25 seconds. Now I'm up to 50 or 60 seconds almost. And it's like, wow, my lungs just completely expand. And then I fully exhale. And I imagine that I'm releasing any kind of tension that I might have picked up throughout the day that doesn't belong to me. So then that kind of sets my stage for a good night's sleep. Then when I wake up in the morning, I give myself an opportunity to check in with myself. Did I sleep well? I go into kind of just taking an inventory. And if I slept really great, then of course the first thing, like Dr. Connealy thinks, is I got to move this body. And for me, if I don't exercise first thing in the morning, I don't exercise because my day just gets away from me. Right. So for me, it's a religion. I wake up and I exercise. Now, if I didn't get a good night's sleep, I'm still going to exercise, but instead of doing my normal workout of going to the gym and doing weights training or doing a spin class, because I don't have the energy, I might just do yoga in my house. I might just do some breathing exercise, but I don't not do nothing. I don't give myself the excuse, oh, you didn't have a good night's sleep, oh, let me feel sorry for yourself. I said, no, I'm in gratitude that I'm even waking up this morning, and what can I do so that I can still support that habitual pattern that I'm setting for a healthy lifestyle? Then the next thing I do is I go straight downstairs and I give myself a 32-ounce jar of lemon water. And so I take 16 ounces before anything touches my mouth in regards to any other food. And I take half of it, and then I go and I do my workout. I come home, I take the other half of it, and then I kind of start off my morning. For me, food is really important. So I take that time out to prepare a really good lunch. I don't want the excuse, oh, gee, I'm going to just have to eat whatever's available. I want to be prepared. And so again, whatever it is that I made for dinner, I might just prepare a beautiful salad with that protein. So now I know that I can count on something that I look forward to that's going to give me energy, and I'm going to keep my blood sugar very, very stable. And then when I get home, of course, you've got another job to do, like we all do, and that's going and making that fabulous meal. And I tell patients, it doesn't need to be a whole lot of effort, but you've got to be prepared. So in my pantry, in my kitchen, is really a keto kitchen. That's just what I do with patients. I ask them to create a foundation so that they are in a platform of anti-aging, of disease prevention, and that's keeping the sugars down as low as possible. So I'm always thinking, what am I going to do to keep that in balance? So again, my dinner will be some really clean protein, some nice vegetables, some salads. I don't try to eat too much at night because especially at this age, we don't digest the way we used to. I mean, face it, right? That's why they say eat like a king at lunch and a pauper at dinner, because our liver can't handle it very well. So I'm really cognizant of what my body needs. As Dr. Connealy says, we have a cellular intelligence. And if we don't listen to it, then our body masks it just like any other maladaptation that it does in life. And we don't listen that our body's breaking down faster than what we'd like. And so I make it a religion to say I've got to make sure I do my breathing exercises. I got to make sure I drink enough water to stay hydrated, to keep my skin nice and youthful, to make sure that I've got the right foods that I'm eating. I am moving my body to stimulate my lymph system. And I'm really taking inventory of how to meet my personal needs and connecting with nature, connecting with my spiritual self. So I've got a good foundation so that when I come to work, I'm prepared to be 200% on for all of my patients.
Right, that's great.
My day.
Very well said. Do either of you have any other tips in terms of detoxification, nutrition, exercise that patients or people in general can easily incorporate into their lifestyle to become healthier?
Well, I will tell you one thing, like Liliana said, people need to be prepared. You have to do some kind of preparation, because if you don't, the food, everything's not available. So, and you've got to really know about the science of food. That's why I always encourage all of the patients to see Liliana to truly understand. People think they know what they're eating is great, but they really don't know, because who taught you that? The TV commercials? Well, that is not a good source for information, because do you ever see blueberries advertised on television? Do you ever see broccoli advertised on television? No, you see cereal and cookies and food that is basically dead for you. So you need to think, you need to partner with someone, and that's why we're doing this Facebook Live, because there's simple things. Like for what I do is I like eggs in the morning. So not everybody can have eggs though. So, but eggs for me are a good thing. Some people are allergic. You need to know what you're allergic to. Why do you need to know? Because if you have allergies, then it's going to suppress your immune system. Not that you're going to get a headache, not that you might get a stomach ache, not that you may have some physical ailment. It is damaging to your immune system. And that's why you can't eat the foods that are hurting you. And so, but I don't have an egg allergy, so I eat an egg, 2 eggs, and what do I cook it in is either coconut oil or butter. Just like Liliana was saying, I want to keep my carbs down. I will make a little, they have raw wraps, that it's a wrap that's made out of veggies. You put that in a little butter or coconut oil, then cook the eggs, and then I bring that to work. And so, and people always ask me about coffee. So let's cover coffee, okay? Because everybody always asks me about coffee. Well, coffee is probably the most beverage in the world. And I tell people, coffee has a lot of therapeutic benefits, okay? But if you drink coffee, do not wake up and drink coffee. As Liliana says, she makes lemon water. It's easy to get lemons or limes or even a grapefruit. I drink green juice. But you want to, what was your body doing sleeping 8 hours? That means you were fasting for 8 hours. That means your body is dehydrated. So that means you need to basically drown all of your cells with beautiful water. And if you can add some lemon in it or lime or something like that, that's a wonderful asset. Now, if you don't do that, don't beat yourself up, because that creates its own problems when we beat ourselves up. Oh, I didn't exercise, I didn't do that. Do not do that. Go, no, you know, whatever I get done today, I get done today. And make it better tomorrow. But you have to drink 20 ounces of fluid because you've been asleep. You have been dehydrated for 8 hours. 20 ounces isn't even sufficient. But what I do is I drink 20 ounces, and then when I come to work, I fill a 32-ounce glass bottle, not plastic. We'll get into that later. And then I space my time and I drink it throughout the day, in the morning, and everything. And so, and then at lunch, you want to, how difficult, I tell you, now in this day and time, you can easily grab a salad and a chicken breast with olive oil and vinegar. It is just not that difficult, because now all the businesses, because guess what? We are in the era of illness now, unfortunately. But we're also in the era of information to heal ourselves. And so we're now caught now with the food companies and the grocery stores and the Costco's and all the other conglomerates. People are demanding good food. They're demanding good products. So now when you used to go to Albertsons, I remember a long time ago, I went to Albertsons and there was nothing organics. Well, guess what their trucks say now? Organics on every aisle, because the consumer is demanding it. They're demanding non-GMO. They're demanding gluten-free. They're demanding non-toxic things that are going to help your body heal and strengthen itself. So these are just, you know, we're going to do little things like what I do sometimes, since I don't have a lot of time to eat. That's one of my unfortunate things I work on, because at lunchtime I'm doing many things between my morning patients and afternoon. So I'll prepare myself a keto shake. So with the protein powder, and I use nutso, and I make a drink that is going to last me for the next 6 hours. And luckily it works for me. And then when I get home at night, that's a time I want to enjoy a little meal. But what I do is I have a little meal. I don't have a plate, a Cheesecake Factory plate. That is not going to work for you because it is too much. Like she said, your body is slowing down at night. And it's not only slowing down, it's slowing down in metabolism. And all those women and men out there that are trying to lose 10, 20, 50 pounds, guess what? You have to eat like a pauper for dinner. You do. There is no other way. So I'll let Liliana tell her what all the little things she does and what little tricks you can give to patients.
One of the things that I try to do is focus my life as a detox lifestyle, okay? And as Dr. Connealy said, is if we eat foods that don't actually work well for our immune system, they become a toxin. And so I'm very clear about listening to the responses of my body. If I eat something and I get bloated, I get gassy, I get sleepy, I get mucus, I know that food did not like me. So why should I continue to engage in eating something that's not to my highest interest? So already just in the foods that I'm consuming, I'm very clear about what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And I know that so many people have food addictions. I mean, food is our drug of choice. It lights up our brain like a Christmas tree, and sugar is so addictive. I understand that. But again, I try to be really clear about why am I reaching for what I'm reaching? Because if I'm reaching for something that is what I would consider a nutrient deficient item, okay, chips and crackers and things of that nature, I know that I'm under adrenal stress and my body's looking for salty, crunchy foods. So I'm fully aware that I'm not eating these foods because I'm hungry. I'm emotionally trying to satisfy myself with something that makes me feel good. So instead of doing that, I'm going to say, well, you know what? You're just trying to fulfill some need that will never be filled by food. So why don't you go and take a nice hot bath? Why don't you give back to yourself? Take an Epsom salt bath and detox, and you're going to feel so much better. So I really pay attention to the cellular intelligence. And then what I also do is not, again, consume those foods that don't like me, but at the same time, portion size is really important. I tell myself as well as my patients, only eat to 80% capacity of what you would normally want to. And honestly, you know, when food is sitting at the table and there's a little extra this and a little extra that, but we're already satisfied and we take it, we feel bloated afterwards. We feel, why did we do that? And so again, I really pay attention to, do I really need to have that? And if I don't, just save it for tomorrow's salad. So again, I don't overload my system, creating more stress on my liver, especially at night when we need to have lighter meals because it's harder for our liver to break down these foods. It's going into its mindset of repair between 10 and 2. And this is another thing that's really important that I do not do. After I eat a meal, there will be nothing that crosses my lips after 7 o'clock so that I can have a 3-hour period before I go to sleep so that my body can actually access the fat for fuel between the 10 and 2 o'clock hour. And so I tell patients, if you eat a snack before you go to bed, you will be under the influence of insulin. And if you're under the influence of insulin, you will not burn an ounce of fat. And I'm going to use the most fat for fuel between 10 and 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm aware of that. So if I eat a snack at 8:30 and go to bed at 10:30, I've just shut my capacity off to use fat for fuel when my body's trying to repair itself. It's also trying to clear the amines in my brain. And it's also trying to give me neurotransmitters so that I could wake up in a really good, healthy mindset. So again, I'm very cognizant of not overloading my system, creating more of a toxic overload burden. And I really make sure that I have good elimination. I ask patients all the time, how's your elimination? And they say, well, it's fine. And I say, well, how often do you go to the bathroom? And they say, oh, every 3 days. Well, every 3 days, I say, oh my gosh, you know, that is not healthy. It's healthy to you because this is all you've ever done. So I teach them how important it is to have enough fiber in their diet so we can use it as a detoxification agent to mop up those toxins and to have good, healthy bowel function and feed your friendly bacteria in your gut. So I try to really kind of focus my mindset, and I need to live a detox lifestyle. Take little opportunities when I can seize them in regards of doing a liver flush or colon cleansing whenever I can. I say, why not? I've got, you know, a weekend where nobody's going to be around. I take those opportunities, I steal them so that I can feel really good that I'm doing the best I can on a prevention level.
That's great. In terms of bowel movements, how many times a day would you think would be a healthy bowel movement?
I would say 2 a day would be good. You know, 1 first thing in the morning, and a lot of times if you evacuate 1 or 2 times in the morning, that would be even better, right? And then usually somewhere around after lunch, that would be another great time too. But again, I'd say at least a minimum of once a day would probably be great.
Yeah, that's what I would concur, that at least once a day. A lot of times people, all they know is themselves. And so they don't think about like, well, I've always gone every 3 days. Doesn't everybody? Because nobody talks about how many times they go, how many bowel movements they have a day. It's not a common conversation. So theoretically, you have to think about a colon. A colon is a sewer. So the sewer needs to be cleaned on a regular basis. And it should be a natural thing. Now, not everybody has a natural bowel movement, and sometimes they need natural help to make sure that they go to the restroom. But at least once a day, preferably I'd like twice. And when we put patients on cleanses that are not difficult and they're not, overwhelming to do, they go to the restroom and they always say, oh my gosh, I'm going to the restroom on a regular basis. So it's very, very important that you keep the sewer clean and cleaned out on a regular basis. And we only use natural things. I do not recommend people taking drugs or over-the-counter medicines or anything. You want to make sure you understand what you're taking and how it's going to affect you, because a lot of people take herbs and things that are not to be used on a regular basis.
Well, that's great. Great precursor. We want to answer a couple of our viewer questions.
Okay.
And one of our questions were, what are the most common supplements that a person can take that will not harm their health?
Okay, that's a great question. And unfortunately, if we do a study about how many people listening in right now have proper nutritional quotients on their blood test or urine test, probably 95% of people will be deficient in 1 or more nutrients. You can't get it. I don't care how clean you eat, how pure you eat, how organic you eat. There's very few people who have adequate nutrients in your body. Why do you need the nutrients? You need the nutrients because your cycle of energy will not work. It's something that we learn as doctors in biochemistry, that you have a cycle of energy that requires all these nutrients to work. So what I do is we always check who needs what nutrients. Otherwise, we're guessing. If we don't test, we guess. So we always check everybody's adequate levels to see if they're normal or not. But I will tell you, let's say you're listening and you don't have a doctor to partner with. I usually use a food-based multi, not a synthetic multi, a food-based multi. Then on top of that, 99% of our patients are low in vitamin D. So at least 5,000 international units of vitamin D. Why vitamin D is so important? Because vitamin D is important in preventing cancer, helping your immune system, helping your brain, helping your bones, helping your heart. It's very inexpensive. Then the other important thing I recommend to have patients take is essential fatty acids. They are actually called essential fatty acids. Essential means you must have them. Every cell in your body, it has a wall, and this is the wall, and the wall contains essential fatty acids. Well, what sits on that wall? Over 30,000 receptor sites for everything to go in and out of the cell. Because we live in such a toxic world, those essential fatty acids replaced every day help your cells communicate with each other to work for you.
Great. Awesome. Another question that one of our viewers had were, what is the amount of number of hours of sleep that is adequate enough to keep them healthy per night?
Well, I will tell you, at least 8
hours.
8 hours minimum. Some people need 9, but I would say somewhere between 8 and 9 hours. A lot of people say, oh, I'm sleeping 6 or 7 hours. And I said, well, 30 years ago, how many hours did you sleep? Oh, I slept like 8 hours. And I said, well, something's changed in your body. you should be sleeping like the 8 hours. Oh, I can't do that. Well, no, because everybody is electrified every day listening to their phone and their computers and their laptops and their TV all at the same time. And so no wonder you can't get to sleep. So you have to set this environment like Liliana was saying before. I know we all live by it. Look at my life. It's crazy. I live by it too. But I also make it a time that I must be in rest, in peace, because otherwise my body will not work. So you've got to turn it off and lights out. And personally, what I do is I have a switch in my bedroom that turns off all the electricity to my bedroom and surrounding areas, so that I have no electricity in my bedroom at night.
Great. One of the things that I'll mention too is that there's a golden hour of sleep that's really important, and that's between 10 o'clock at night and 4 o'clock in the morning. So that is essential because between 10 and 2, your body's in repair mode. So if you don't go to sleep till 12 o'clock at night, you're robbing yourself of precious anti-aging time and repair time. Then from basically 2 to 4, it's when the body is now cleansing. It's breaking things down and the liver is preparing for elimination. So I say the golden hour is between 10 and 4 o'clock at night. That is so terribly important.
Great. That's great advice. One last question. Do you have any healthy alternatives for people who crave salty or sweet foods?
Yes. So if you are craving anything, that means your blood sugar is unstable, okay? And when people crave salty, crunchy foods, it's usually a matter of having too much stress in their life and they're activating their adrenals. And what do people want? Crunchy, salty chips, crackers, right? So I say, okay, well, let's do an alternative. Let's have the crunch in like a jicama or other celery vegetables and put a little teeny bit of cayenne and a little bit of Celtic salt on them so that you give your adrenals the hit that they need from being overactive the entire day, but you're not getting the carbohydrates. One thing that Dr. Connealy and I and most of the doctors here, we live in a mindset of a ketogenic lifestyle. And we do that for anti-aging. We do that for prevention of disease and just for overall mental clarity. So again, it's really important to pay attention to how your body is expressing itself and to honor yourself with what your body's asking it needs.
Right. All great advice. Thank you for sitting with me tonight, answering our viewers' questions, and I hope that everybody enjoyed the information that we received tonight. And we will see you soon next month or so.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming.